Diana Cooper, absolutely great to see you once again. I'm going to be sad when we're not connecting every single week. It's going to be a sad thing, isn't it?
There's always something to talk about, Chris.
Definitely is. I'll hold you to that, Diana. Well, this is a continuation from our first chat, which was all about the steps to 2032 and, of course, the new golden age. Now, this chat's going to be all about 2032 to 2052, which I'm so excited. I'm sure many viewers and people around the world are as well, Diana. It's going to be great to see what the world is going to look like then. But for anyone that's just found this video and just stumbled on it, Diana, can you summarize what our first chat was all about?
It's about the steps between now and 2032, which is the start of a new golden age, when everything is breaking down in preparation for the new. And already some of the things will start to be happening before 2032, like by then almost everybody will be fifth dimensional and will be having their amazing psychic and spiritual gifts starting to return to them. So most people will be telepathic, and that's going to mean that people are going to be much more honest. So after 2032, as this happens to more people, then people will be more clairvoyant. As soon as people are all clairvoyant and they can see and sense energies, then you have no room for secrets, no room for dishonesty. All of that will have to leave. People will feel safer because they can trust people. And that it's the consciousness that's the greatest and most exciting thing to me. But what's happening in 2032 that is going to make the difference? Okay, on a spiritual level, the heart center of Earth, the planetary heart center, will connect to the heart centers of all the planets in the universe. So this is not just about Earth. This is a whole universal shift that's taking place. Just like the process started in 2012, when source energy touched the heart centers of every single being throughout the universes, this is the next step. When that happens, there will be a huge influence of love energy touching everybody on Earth, going goose pimply, yeah?
I really am, Diane. Look at that. If you can see, as soon as you mentioned that, then look at that.
So the love influence will really spread around our planet. As soon as that reaches a certain level, there is a portal in China that carries pure source love. And when that happens, that portal will open, and that's going to, again, profoundly affect everybody. And there's going to be a move towards world peace and international cooperation. Now, as soon as there is international cooperation, and that will be possibly 2035, just or soon after that, then awesomely, we earn the right for amazing abundance energy to come in from the universe. How this will affect us is new high frequency ways of growing food, new high frequency ways of purifying water, awesome spiritual technology starting to be downloaded to those who are ready to bring it out. And of course, by then, there'll be a huge shift in all this ego stuff where one person has to take something and earn money from it. Soon after 2032, we will not have money on this planet. Everything, because all of those things are happening before 2032, the banks, the economies, they're all collapsing now, which is why we're having such a tough time, because we're having to do things differently. The consciousness will be about sharing and caring for each other. So working together. And soon after this, the new golden cities will be born. Now, I think I said last time that the reason it's called a golden age is because everything from the land itself to the trees to the people and the flowers have a golden aura. They are radiating a golden energy. And that gold is love and wisdom combined. And so literally the energy of everything is different. So the new babies coming in, of course, will be coming in with their 12 chakras fully open and with their 12 strands of DNA active and connected. Now, this means they will have awesome powers and spiritual powers. So the new babies coming in will start to have the elongated heads, which is what they had in Egypt, where they had the extra brain capacity containing the spiritual gifts and talents. They will have gifts like levitation, like advanced clairvoyance, manifestation, many of the things that we know about but aren't actually happening. Advanced healing, all of those things will become normal and ordinary and everyday again. So in the golden era of Atlantis, if a child is playing out in the fields and the mum wants to know where he is, he will send a video of himself up a tree to his mother from his mind directly to her mind. And so everything just becomes so much easier. And I know people are already doing these things now.
A big thing about that, and you were saying there, we all know these things exist, and they do exist, but to live in a world where people are just doing it like, picking up your mobile phone, ringing and texting, but it's within us. But to be in that collective where it's all activated will be such a golden world to live in, won't it?
Well, it will be when the consciousness is that it's all done for the highest good. We're currently living in a world of control, and that will be past because the frequency is inexorably rising at the moment, and we will beyond that. People will no longer accept it, and so instead we will be doing things for the highest good for the community. And so people won't be going to work. Robots will be taking over the jobs. So unless your soul energy is that you want to do some particular work, there will be much more time for creativity and leisure. Things like homes will be built communally by the people. And so in that leisure time, and this is what I love about what's happening, because this is a consciousness thing, everybody will have time and space. There will be a lot more love of water, so lakes will be constructed so that people can play in them, so that boats, any kind of boats, sailing craft, canoes, rafts, anything will just be left on the shores for anybody to use at any given time that they wish to, because it's in the consciousness. Everybody will care for what they're given and share it and use it properly. So if you go into a sports hall, there will be all the equipment just left there for you to use. But again, right now, if a group is playing football, for example, you don't feel you can just join in. But then the consciousness will be so warm and welcoming and oneness that anybody will feel free to join in and will be welcomed. And those playing the game will welcome anybody, whether they're all playing music together or they're all dancing together or all doing whatever it is together. Everybody will be welcome to join in and feel belonging. Now, that's a huge difference.
It's beautiful, Diana. I mean, just to think, when you talk about that like that, that reminds me of like now when you go to a really nice community somewhere and everyone knows everybody, everyone helps everybody, there's no ego, everyone's there for love, really, really living from the heart. And to think that, we can be part of an existence that is leading from the heart, that is just an absolute beautiful thing, isn't it?
I do. And that is why the consciousness is so important where we're going. So there's no, oh, you belong to this race, I belong to that religion, we can't meet. It's all about everybody honoring everyone else. And so, of course, at the same time, there are these downloads of amazing spiritual technology. So we'll be harnessing free eco power. Now, by 2050, the power will be harnessed from plants, from the oceans, from the stars, from all sorts that we have no concept of now. This is one reason why it's so hard to talk about what's coming in, because we actually can't conceive of it. It's beyond our imagination. Already they're doing things on phones, etc., that we think, my gosh, can they do that? But yes, they will all be coming in at a high frequency, so it doesn't damage anybody. So the new high frequency internets, for example, will not damage anybody. No damage the bees or the insects or people. It's because it's a high frequency. Furthermore, it won't carry the low frequency information and energy that our current internet is carrying. All of that will be passed because people will be at this level of consciousness. They won't be interested in this low frequency stuff anymore. So it'll all be at a much higher level of connection, which is amazing.
You know, when you think about that and you think about the technology, because you think we're living in a world now and technology has come so far. You know, I think when I was like 16, 17 and I had a, internet with a big fat back and, things have gone so quick, but it's going to, be even, more than we can even think about, isn't it? That's what people need to really kind of try and digest. It's not just a flatter, computer or this, it's a completely new technology, isn't it?
Yeah, it's something beyond our imagination. And for example, by 2050, we'll be able to dematerialize waste. Now that's interesting because we've not been able to do that. Our oceans are full of plastic. There are dumps all over the world with all this stuff in them. And by 2050, we will have the technology to dematerialize that back to its original atomic structure, state, to nothing, to dust, and cleanse the planet at a much deeper level than we have any idea of at the moment. And so, and then the houses. Well, I was preparing these Zooms, and I'm doing 3 Zooms about the new golden age. And in one of them, this man came in and he took me into some of what's going to happen in the future. In the first one, this young girl came in. The second one, it was this older man who actually, interestingly enough, said to me that he was 100 and something, but he looked like a young man. And he said he'd gone through a rejuvenation program. And I thought, wow, is that possible? Anyway, he had, and he took me and showed me the medical, what was happening. And of course, there are no hospitals by then. All those great big buildings like the schools and the supermarkets, they'll all be gone. And the hospitals, that's all part of the old age. In the new paradigm, it's local and it's small. And so that there will be local healing centers. And of course, because the frequency is so much higher, we won't have these deeply entrenched illnesses that require allopathic medicine. It'll be done much more by balancing the chakras. They will have the ability to do repair spinal cords. They will work with sound and lasers on people and healing in just a way that we actually can't conceive of at the moment. And he took me into one of these places and he showed me some of these things happening with such love, and people who loved to heal, creating the sounds and bringing in the right energies to enable this to happen. Another place he took me to, which was also astonishing, was this beautiful building, a beautiful round building. And in it, the community was materializing. And so he showed me 2 ways that they were doing it. In one, they had this plant material. And so it's all totally eco. By then, part of the spiritual technology will be that there will be, this plant material will totally replace all plastics. And it will be extruded, and it can come out in beautiful, wonderful shapes and colors, be pliable or not, be able to be used, because that'll be the technology allowed. So with one, there was this pile of plant material. We knew what was going to be built. And then these people sat round together as a community and focused on it and used mind control and sound to create what they wanted. Then there was something even more advanced, which was a group of highly trained people who drew from the unmanifest world into the manifest world. Now, we know people that can do that now, certain shamans, but this was something that every community did for the highest good of the community. And of course, then there's no leadership as we know it now. If they need to make a decision in a community, because their heart centers are all connected, they gather together and their intention is to take decisions for the highest good. They attune heart to heart, and out of it comes decisions for the highest good of everybody. So everything is done differently. And people who are of the right consciousness will step forward to take special roles. But there will be the right consciousness, not the ego consciousness we have now.
You know, we see it every single day, Diana, don't we? You know, the government will probably go all around the world. It's not really for the good of the people, for the good of the planet. It's for them. It's, look at me, I've got a big job and I'm powerful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's absolutely. And so all of that will be gone. So if a building is to be built, there are no building regulations, no planning departments, no ego. In the fifth dimensional consciousness, the people will get together and take a decision for the highest good of all, from a heart to heart level. And so it's just totally, totally, utterly different.
It's bliss. It just sounds bliss, Diana. It all does. And I think, you know, for me, you know, when I hear you talk, and of course, you know, research it, look into it, it's kind of a way, you know, it's taking away all the stuff that complicates our life, you know, the things that we get dragged down by day to day. If we could just live in that love vibration, you know, things will be a lot easier. But all these things that we mentioned that are going to be falling away, you know, these are things that drag us back down. But with all them gone, we can be the best versions of ourselves completely, can't we?
Well, this is why I say it's more about a frequency shift than a lot of other things. People will still be neighbors and the same things, but they're just energetically embracing and caring. And of course, the new golden cities that are going to start to emerge after 2032 will be very different, because they will be created by the people for the people. And they will be created with beautiful materials, with everybody working together as a community. There will be lots of water, as there was in Atlantis, because they will understand that water is about purification, that it carries the Christ light of love. All of that sort of thing will be embodied into the houses, and they will all be much more round and flowing. And if there's a tree, they're not going to say, oh, that tree's in the way of my son, we're going to dig it up. They will work round the tree and incorporate it into the plans. So nature will be honored as well.
Which it should be. I mean, and these things, you know, I always think, you know, people like me and you, Diana, you know, when you see, you know, people drop litter, or, you know, people getting rid of, you know, wildlife, natural habitats, you know, it really gets my back up. And it's kind of, why are you doing that? But they're at a different vibration. You know, they don't care. They don't see past, you know, that greed, that money that's coming in to do whatever they're doing, or just kind of don't care about what they're doing to the planet. So those kind of people, Diana, will they just fall away if they're not in, you know, this new vibration for the 2032, 2052 world?
Well, a lot of people who are third dimensional currently will raise their frequency will wake up. And those that are not at the upper levels of the fourth dimension with their hearts open, or fifth dimensional by 2032, will make a choice to leave the planet. And there will be lots of people and families and groups making decisions like that they would rather continue somewhere else. But I have to say something about what you said about the litter, because I had a friend who was in a beauty spot. Might have told you this one before, in a beauty spot, and she saw all this litter and she was thinking judgmental thoughts about them. And this voice said to her, "And what about the psychic litter your judgmental thoughts are leaving?" Whoa! That impacted on me so much. Every single time I see a piece of litter, I say, bless the person who dropped it with self-worth.
That's so good, Diana. But I mean, that is it. Because, when we see people, we do think negative thoughts. We do think, but that is, that is litter of the mind, isn't it? And of course, psychic litter as well, because then we're judging them, we're lowering that vibration. And so in that situation, would you say, just send them love? And of course, if we can, remove the litter.
I say, bless them with self-worth, because if somebody has self-worth, they're not going to drop litter.
Yeah,
and they're going to feel better about themselves. And it's just thought. It's just the same energy of thought as it is to think something else. So it is. And of course, they'll be living in a world where that's so much easier, because everybody's on that vibrational level.
Yes.
And Chris, the exciting thing is this is not so far away. We're already in 2021. It's only another 10 years.
Even when I look at it there, Diana, as well, you kind of think, oh, it's just 2032. It's not like it's 50 years away or 100 years away. We're already making good progress, aren't we?
Absolutely. And if you've got free, totally ecological power, that will make a huge difference to the planet. And there won't be haves and have-nots, because everybody will have the abundance consciousness that enables everyone to share. Now, ownership will be a thing of the past. In the in the fifth dimensional consciousness, we know that if we have a need, it will be met. Therefore, you don't have to worry about not having enough, because your need will be met. If you need a transport, then you just need that transport and it arrives for you. And so you don't have to call it, you don't have to do anything, because your consciousness is, it will be there for you. And so the travel will be totally different. Some people will be able to levitate a little. There will be floating discs like there used to be, and a lot of children will travel that way, and some adults. There will be mini helicopters that are silent and eco-powered, and a lot of people will travel in those. You see, I talked last time about we won't be traveling in the same way in the next 10 years, and we won't. But after that, when we've gone into the new golden age, there will be loads and loads of forms of transport and travel, all of which will be ecological and good for the planet, good for the people, silent, and everybody will be able to participate in that.
It really can. It really can. And it is. And that's one thing as well, Diana, people that are watching this, I know from the first video, there was like, oh, I want to get there now. It seems so far away, but it's not. So how can people, watching this video right now, start to kind of get the foundation of what 2032 is? How can we start to bring that to us, Diana?
One is the way you live your life and your thoughts, just like we were talking about with the litter. It's changing your thoughts into the fifth dimensional consciousness. And one of the reasons I wanted to talk to you and I wanted to do these Zooms is because so many people are focused on the negative stuff that's going on out there right now. Whereas the more people that are focused on the amazing that is going to happen, the more we start to co-create it. So think about it, talk about it, share about it, and then you start to bring it forward more quickly. Growing some food, growing vegetables, talking to the vegetables, starting the flow of consciousness between all living beings. And that also is something that brings the new age forward. Literally every single moment is a choice of what we can do.
It definitely is. It really, really is. And it's so beautiful thing that we can all do it. Every single person can access this. It's not just for one people, every single person can. So, to lead with an open heart, that's such a big thing, isn't it? To be in that heart vibration. And, if someone isn't, just bless them with love. And of course, you move on. But as long as you are, and the people that are watching this are kind of doing everything that they can do to bring in the new golden age, that's the most important thing, isn't it?
Yes, and remember that if you have a heart that's open, it's very difficult for somebody to keep their heart closed if yours is open. And so people around you, even though you may never know, because it's a stranger walking down the street, you'll touch them with your energy. And that does make a difference. If you're holding this, everyone's going on about all the stuff that's going on the planet. And if they're all doing that at this frequency and you are focusing on what's happening and the highest possibilities, you're inexorably drawing them up a little bit so that their frequency is rising to match yours. So it's like a drop of oil on troubled waters.
Oh, that's a beautiful way to think of it.
Beacons.
Yeah.
Anyone that's watching this has come in as a midwife for the new golden age. They're helping to birth it. And one way to birth it is by holding the light steady and strong for everybody. And even if that's all you do, that's a major job.
It is, because showing everyone the way. It is. It's one of the most important jobs. If we can't see the way, we can't get there. And, that's that. So people, never think that it's not good what you're doing. Even just, I think people just talking about it, even people just talking about angels, unicorns, the light, the golden age, even if it's just a little conversation, it's a big thing. It really is a big thing for people, which is a beautiful thing.
Well, I think as people wake up more, more people are going to be aware of the angels, the dragons, the unicorns, the fairies, all of the invisible realms that are supporting us and helping us now. Yeah. More than we have any idea of.
Well, they are. They're there for everyone as well. So, Diana, what are you looking forward to, for 2032, 2052? What do you think is going to be the biggest change, for you?
The change in consciousness, the shift. Yeah. The fact that everybody is working together for another level of living and being. And you're not going to have all this griping and fighting and infighting. It's everybody. And of course, you've got disease on the planet at the moment. We won't say anything more. And it's at this low frequency. If everybody's raised their frequency to here, then that disease has got nowhere to go, can't attach to a human being. And if people would just understand that, but focus on changing their frequency, changing their thought patterns, letting go of the fear, and then there would be health everywhere.
Yeah, it's beautiful. And one thing I'll take from these chats as well, Diana, is you said there before, sharing is caring. That's a beautiful few words there, but it's so important, and it really really is. And I think when we get in that moment and say you meet a stranger, you speak to someone, you help them, that always feels so good. And I always attune that to be what the future is going to be like, how that's going to feel. You're always going to feel beautiful in that vibration. And I just think the more people that do it, the better.
The more people that are happy, the better.
Yes. Yeah.
And it will be a time, for the first time since Atlantis, it'll be people have the opportunity to be truly happy, deeply soul happy.
Oh, beautiful, Diana, beautiful. Well, thank you very much for that, lovely. I mean, you've answered everything as well, which is beautiful. Do you want to tell people about your Zooms that you've got coming up, lovely?
Monday, the 23rd of August, and that's about how the spiritual and psychic powers are developing in the new golden age, relationships, the new children, and education. And then on the 13th of September, part 2 about the housing, the leisure, how they'll spend their time, about the food, animals, how they'll work with animals and community. And on the 27th, it's about all the new ways of travel, about money, economics, and the awesome new technology coming in. So I'm very excited about these, because if people can just focus on that and look forward to it and know that our children and our grandchildren have got something wonderful to look forward to, then I think that that's brilliant.
Oh, it is brilliant. And they're going to be fantastic, Zoom sessions as well. So make sure you do book on them. I will put them in the description below for everyone as well, so they can find them. But of course, find anything to do with the lovely Diana. Well, thank you for your time today. It gives me hope, Diana, these chats as well. And what a time we all need them, and keeping in that vibration, no matter what. If anyone's watched this, you'll be in that vibration, which is great. So thank you so much, Diana Cooper.
Bye-bye.
Bye.